Therapy, Army. Where have it? Where have it? Therapy, Army. How you doing, Therapy Army? You know how it is. One of the late night strolls through the neighborhood. How we doing, people? Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel, people. Let's go. How we doing? I've just come out of I went to see a horror film with my friend, and it was hilarious. It's called Long Legs. Go and watch it. I watched the horror footage from Manchester Airport today, where people are getting their heads kicked in by fucking pigs. And then my friend was like, let's go and watch a film. So I went to watch a film. So big up to everybody. I'm on the road, as they say, I'm on the road, people. But please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already subscribed. Big up, man like Sheikh Harry and Rashid in the house. Big up Alien Tenno. Big up Pete. Hope we're all well, people. Smash a like, people. Smash a like. We're shadow banned, but we don't give an absolute damn. You know, we're streaming when we're cycling. That's how we roll, people. But big up. Yeah. What's happened, Sheikh Harian? Service are right. If these officers are not charged or put behind bars, Greater Manchester are not only a disgrace, but Manchester's biggest, one of the holds is Great Britain. Yeah, Sheikh Harian Rashid. We saw that, innit? Islamophobia at its peak. Peak Islamophobia, innit? When you dehumanize Muslims in this country, like to the extent where a police officer on camera can literally stamp on a man's head. He can just stamp on his head. It shows you done it. You know what I mean? Big up Bumbaye. Bumbaye is about. Better watch out, people. Bumbaye is about. But yeah, the level of dehumanizing of Muslims in this country, it's the only, like, one of the forms. I think racism against, like, Romani traveller community. We saw that at Leeds. We saw the riot, innit? We saw what happened to them. I think the only other people, other than, yeah, obviously black people, but black people get abused all the time, innit? Black people get shot by police. You know what I mean? All over the show. You know what I mean? How many people, how many black or brown people have died in the hands of police in this country? How many? How many? Yeah. So I won't expect nothing. I'm expecting nothing happen to these officers. And then the policewoman, she's saying, oh, I heard her saying, oh, don't film it. She was like, don't film it. Big up Bumbaye, big up Tom, how we doing?
Big up, guys.
Yes. Good
Yeah,
evening,
yeah, big
Dino.
up.
Good evening, Tom. Good evening, Therapy Army. I've missed everybody, man. It feels like it's been forever.
Yo, we missed you, pal. We missed you. We missed your voice. But we got to do we got a lot of things to do. But obviously, a lot of people want to talk about what happened at Manchester Airport. Obviously, the pigs doing what they do, innit? The fucking absolute monsters, mate. Kicking people's head when they're on the floor. The level of cowardice you have to be. You know how much of a coward you have to be? Kick somebody when they're on the floor and they can't defend themselves. But that's who that's what Greater Manchester Police are, innit? That's who they are. They bully people. These people are people that are being bullied. But as an institution, they're a fucking disgrace. They're a disgrace. I don't go and give a fuck about what anybody else says, but they're a disgrace. So, but when Islamophobia is what it is in this country, and after what, since 9/11, it's been like open season on Muslims in this country. So what do you expect then, innit? What do you expect? Britain's finest. And these were the armed ones, you know, armed. These are armed police, you know. And they're going around stamping on people's heads. But it is what it is. But anyway, big up Love and light, people. Let's talk about the football in it. At least something that we love. But yeah, Bumba, you seen the footage? Tom, have you seen the footage? If you want to say something about it, we'll move on from there.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Do you want to
I,
go
I've
first,
seen it.
Tom? Would you like to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
go.
the footage, guys. We've seen videos like this happen before. We all know about the Black Lives Matter movement with George Floyd and what happened over in America. It's a common occurrence, and I don't normally agree with a lot of what Gary Neville says, but one of his quotes that I always sting by is that racism will always still exist in society. It's a problem and it's a disease that there's no cure and there's no way you can get rid of it. And as much as we can protest and we can, postpone, we can make banners and chant about it, guys, it doesn't go away. You can only just advise people on the repercussions of it. And listen, Greater Manchester Police, any police force, I'm not bothered. There's right and wrong, and at the end of the day, the boys in blue. There's no boys in blue in this country anymore, guys. It's a disgrace. And at the end of the day, they can paint it up as whatever they want it to be. Release the body cam footage, then Greater Manchester Police. You do it all the time when it comes to you arrest murderers or rapists, whatever, and you release body footage when you're outside the front door. So do the same thing in this situation, and let's see what happens then. If it's not true, what we've all seen on these videos, it's a fucking disgrace. It's a sham. And to be honest with you, when a lot of us sit here and we say we're proud to be British, it's not proud to be British when you see things like that. Regardless of race, colour, creed, anything, we're all united in one thing. So at the end of the day, we're all one country, we're all one nation. Why the fuck we can't just get along? I don't know. But listen, I'm not a massive political person, guys. I don't speak openly about politics or anything. But listen, I don't judge people on race, creed, colour, anything. I treat people as I meet them and I find them. But what I've seen tonight on them videos and everything, guys, it's fucking disgraceful. Go on, Bumba.
Well, I mean, just looking at it. For me, I've had first as police. I think police. I wouldn't like to be a police officer because there's far too much disrespect that police have to put up with from little and large. And I think that precedent needs to stop as well. I think there's a disconnect between the police and the public these days. But
Yeah.
my experiences with police a lot of the time has been very positive because my approach with the police is, you know, I show the police officer respect. I respect the uniform, and I hope for some reciprocity. And usually, I get it. There's some give and take available. So my experiences have been, um, you know, I've had my fair share of experience with police growing up and stuff, but by and large, they've been positive ones, and I think that's because there's ways of approaching things. Some people approach police in the wrong way completely, and you're not going to get very far like that. So I leave it to the police to, reciprocate my approach. And my approach is gentlemanly. That's how my dad brought us up. Respect police. If I went out, I remember a police officer grabbing me by the ear for doing knock a door run, taking me home to my dad, and then my dad whooped my ass. About 4 months ago, I had the phone on loudspeaker. It was in my hand. And the bumps, I was going through the middle of the bumps just to go easy on my suspension. Straight away, the police officer starts flashing. I pull over. He races over to my window and says, "I saw you on the phone. Don't deny it." I said, "Yeah, I was. I apologize. It's a mistake. You're absolutely right." And he goes, "What the hell are you doing driving in the middle of the road, like with the bumps?" I said, "There's no cars oncoming, officer. It's just, for the suspension." He goes, "It's there for a reason." He goes, "That's 6 points." And what did he say? 3 points, £600. I don't know. It was big anyway.
Yeah.
I said, "Look, officer, it's in your hands. I've made a mistake. I apologize." He let me go. Another time, I've taken my dad to an appointment. I think I was 15. I was driving my dad's car, believe it or not. He let me drive it. And he made me run a red light because we're running late. Police officer stops us. And I said, "Dad, now what?" He goes, "Nothing to do with me. Go and sort it out." So I get out of the car. Go over to the officer. I don't know. I don't even know our license plate. He says to me, "What's the license plate?" I says, "I have no idea." He goes, "Do you know why I've stopped you?" I said, "I've got sort of an idea. I thought it was kind of amber." He goes, "No, it was red." And that's reckless driving. I said, "You're absolutely right. I'm really sorry. We're late. I'm taking my dad for an appointment. You can follow us if you don't believe me." He goes, "Son, I believe you, but please, for your sake, for your dad's sake, chill out." Another time, we're in a park, we're smoking weed. I think we're about 15 against 16. And there's an officer, unbeknown to us nearby, and he walked over and said, "Lads, you shouldn't be doing that around me, right? Take it elsewhere. Fine. Apologies." You know, that's how I've approached it, and by and large, it's been very, very positive. I've had a couple of instances where you can't reason with an officer; his head's blocked. In that moment, we're not going anywhere. Officer, do whatever it is you want to do, and then you can do one, and I'll just crack on as well. So sometimes, man, some people approach it all wrong. But just to finish off, these lads are in shorts and t-shirts. They're not concealing anything. They're not in a position to cause any threat while their arms are bound behind their backs and their faces on the floor. And, for a police officer to kick a man in the face when there's children, all I can hear in the videos is children that are, crying and stuff. And I don't know, maybe it's his mother. She's, wearing the hijab. She's behind him. And then to try and stand on his head. I mean, I felt physically sick at that. That's not policing anymore. That's just thuggery. That belongs in the EDL when they're coked up or drunk. That's the kind of behavior I'd associate with the EDL, not the police that are supposed to set the standard. These guys are not a threat. There's loud voices. You take them aside, you say, "Listen, calm down. This is what's going down. This is the issue." If they're going to crack on and, be rowdy and they're not going to reason, okay, then you can give them a slap and do whatever it is you need to do. Cuff them up and, drag them out. But this is very heavy-handed. And the police in England are not like the police in America, but they are starting to become that way. And this group of policemen that I saw in Manchester Airport, these are not the type of, if this is the police that I'll be calling on when I need some assistance, I might think twice about calling, and it really puts you off and puts a really bad taste in your mouth. And they have really done a disservice to the whole police force, because there are some very good police officers. Do you know what I mean? But this is not a good day for that police. I don't know the full story of what happened. I can make out from the video they have pushed a woman, and then at some point a woman's been pushed before all this ensues, and then the lads have got upset. There's also an officer's phone is gone missing. They come back and they take the phones out of that guy's pocket. So I'm not sure 100% what it is, but whatever it is, that kind of aggression, especially to the man that's on the floor, this does not belong in. This is not human beings. I don't have it in me. Whenever I've had a fight, whatever, if somebody's down, that's it, man. The guy's had enough. I have never in my life kicked a guy in the face when he's down, and I could not stamp on a guy's head. No way, I can't do things like that. So very, very ugly, very, very, very disgusting. That's my take on that.
Looks like you've had some really good interactions with police, and I'm happy for you. But mine, I've never been like that. Maybe because of the area where I lived and the people that I lived around. But
well,
the picture that you painted, the picture that you painted, I never had any of those interactions. Never.
No, we lived well, man. We lived on a really, really, really bad estate. Very, very bad estate, and that's why I used to come to your area, because I felt safer there. So but end of the day, brother, I think there's a lot to do with the approach, and not all police are like that. But today,
and I thought, listen, I don't know about the individual. I don't know about individual people, what's in their hearts. One thing I do know, though, is the institution. The police, after inquiry after inquiry, have been found to be institutionally racist, sexist, homophobic, racist. All of that they tick. That's why if you Google any of yous, how many people have died in police custody, the numbers will come up, and predominantly majority of them are what? Big elephant in the room, people. The elephant in the room, but nobody wants to talk about it in this country. But anyway, like I said, Tom had his say, you had your say, I had my say to begin with. So we'll just carry on. But big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Big up Sheikh Arian, chief edit, one of the editors of United Real Therapy. There we go. Eric Ten Hag is not under pressure. Guy my MC top next season with Sarabte Power as a considerable progression of the team as his aims established, sustained. Excellent. All right. While Ten Hag's ambitions to lead United to the high position possible, the football department want to say there's no guarantees next season. Easy now. No guarantees next season. But big up. Man UFC are now expected to step up in their search for a full-back reinforcement. Well, Masraoui is injury-prone, so why are we buying another fucking injury-prone player? I don't know. But guys, today we're going to get into 3 midfielders that we signed with. Obviously, we're going to talk about the De-Ligt. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Big up. Jamie was... Yeah, listen, Jamie. You know how it is, innit? You've been there, innit? We've been there, bro. We've been there. But it's all good. Preseason, Barad, Dan Ashford, Jason will travel to the US to get used to working together and support Eric Ten Hag part of his stuff. So that means in the next 10 days, Manchester United are not signing nobody. Steve McCrown will stay at Carrington to train the following players once they return on holiday. Kobe Mainoo, Luke Shaw, Alessandro Garnacho, Sandro Martinez, Bruno Fernandes. But United are only gone for 10 days, if I'm not mistaken. They're playing 3 games in about like 10, 11 days. Or am I missing something? Rasmus Højlund is now the number 9. Yes. Manchester United are expecting another offer for Scott McTominay. Sky, okay. Dermish. Manchester United have had a conversation. This is what we're going to talk about. So, listen, Shakarian, I'm just going to grab these. These that you're talking about, because the 3 guys, I want to bring the 3 guys up. But it's what it is. It's the squad number for pre-season. Yeah, lots of news coming out on Manchester United, obviously. Loads of news. And the signings have slowed down, people. Slow down. Chris Class is having a laugh. Ain't nothing unlocking the win fucking trick pony. Are you absolutely taking the piss? Masraoui is unlocking. Are you taking the piss?
Jesus.
Laura, the said what others are saying, complete transfer, so I'm assuming the VAR will be handling the transfers. Well, we'll see. We shall see. But honestly, I've never seen United sign players while they've been on tour. It's never happened. So I'm just going to go with that. Anyway, let's keep these quotes. Some of them are hilarious and funny. Guys, who do you want to go with? So the 3 players, 3 midfield players, they're quite different 3 midfielders at Manchester. And that's why I'm not really sure. Other than, are we linked by Zubimendi? Are we linked by his agent? Are we linked by the Real Sociedad to linking us to play? Because Manchester United, out of the big teams in Europe, they're the only ones who are buying players, is Manchester United. So it's Fofana. Monaco try to get higher price for Fofana. I don't know how, you know how transfer works, people. So transfer usually works. Manchester United, because of our fan base globally, because of the social media reach, because we've been propaganda FC for the last 12 years, we've perfected it. We're number 1 when it comes to trending majority of things. Manchester United are number 1. So we make things trend all the time, people. So what I don't understand is that agents, clubs, journalists will link Manchester United to players because they're like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back. So it's either between the club, the agent of the player, or the journalists from that part of the world who are all scratching each other's back because they want money. They want money. Are you all right, Bombay? You look like you're in a little bit of pain, a bit groaning, lad. Are you all right?
The police are here, bro.
Well, I hope they're not kicking your head in. You know what I mean? Is it too soon?
Nah, he's tickling me with a feather, bro.
Yeah, be careful, pal. But anyway, so that's how transfers work. So it's about how much money. So we know for Fana, I think Milan are supposed to be paying over like 15 million or something like that. And then, Zubimendi apparently is got 60 million, if I'm not mistaken, 60 million euros buyout clause. And by the way, you don't that money you just pay for the registration. So you go to the local authority and you buy out his registration. You give the money there. The player just comes. You don't even talk to the club. You just literally give the money and then get out of here. But it's crazy. So and then we've got Ugarte, which we've been linked with the most. And apparently Manchester United have agreed personal terms. That means fuck all if the two clubs don't sort out the deal. I can personally agree personal terms with Jarvis, Gumbaye, and Tom. if their players, their respective clubs don't negotiate with me, that means F all. Unless they put a hand in a transfer request, then their club was forced to come and negotiate with me. That happens sometimes. So that's how transfers work, people. But Zubimendi, totally, we were linked with 3 midfield players, and they're 3 different type of players. And that's what I want to get to tonight. But big up Jarvis, my life. Big up. Rick Astley, never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. My life, Jarvis, hot stepping in here. Jarvis, how are you?
I'm good. I've just arrived home. Sorry for arriving late, but I've been outside.
No. Listen,
doing some exercise,
summertime.
Training on my golf.
Getting the golf on, eh?
Yeah. But the sun is shining. It's beautiful outside. So why not just enjoy life? And you never know.
The sun's shining outside.
Yeah, in the mountains. Yeah, you can see it on the horizon, but it's getting lower. So now we have the midnight sun. But
Norway's getting a bit more of a summer than us.
Yeah.
Listen, he's been pissing it down in the UK for what I can tell, guys. Today.
Is that a tan, Jarvis? On your foot, is that a tan?
That's what I'm saying to you. Yeah,
it is
a real one. You've not had makeup done to come on air.
No makeup.
Wow,
real.
Get that makeup on, hey. Get that makeup on before he comes. He puts his face on. Hey, I've just watched the film. I've just watched a so-called horror film. It's called Legs. Long Legs. And it's funny. And the main person was putting on lots of makeup. So just we need some fresh legs, man. Yeah. Well, anyway, exactly. This is what we're talking about in midfield. Manchester United. So what's your question, bro? So the question is, So let me lay it out. So I've done some scout report. I've done some scouting on the 3 players. Zubimendi is more of a ball playing kind of taking it, conductor, picking a ball up from the defenders.
He's basically a Rodri. He's a left-footed Rodri.
No,
similar player.
Yeah, but he's actually different than Rodri, slightly different than Rodri. Similar in terms of like keeping the ball. Who would you compare him to? Picking it up.
I just want to show this is my friend Ken. We were out golfing. This picture is taken 11:30 Norwegian time. Look at the sky.
Look at the sky.
Yeah,
beautiful.
And the golf pitch. And it's beautiful, you can drive around in a little golf cart, drinking a couple of beers, relax, play golf. It's beautiful.
11:30 at night.
Yes, 11:30.
The mountain fires are out to Norway, lads.
It's not like that. 11:30 in the afternoon.
11:30. So how many hours does he stay light? Till 12 o'clock?
All night long. This is the darkest it gets.
Wow. So it's right outside now, outside your gaff right now.
Right outside now.
That's incredible. It's Northern Norway. It only happens in Northern Norway, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Mainly.
Yeah, it's the Arctic Circle. It's north of the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's why Jarvis lives it up. That's why he's been in sunny Spain, you know what I mean, with a tan.
Yeah.
But it's all from sunny Northern Norway, you know what I mean? It's a different world, people.
It is.
It's a different world. But big up. So
Listen, who do you compare? Why don't you give us a player comparison so we know how they would fit into the team, and we can give you an opinion of what we should buy.
Okay, Ibrahim Sissoko. Zubimendi is compared to Ibrahim Sissoko.
Who's Ibrahim Sissoko?
He's being compared to, you know, Etienne Capoue. Remember Capoue?
Right.
Played for Sevilla.
Yeah.
That's
and Watford, I believe.
Yeah.
You're correct.
So,
he was at Watford. Yeah.
Yeah. So passes attempted, like in terms of progressive passes. One of the things that's so good about Zubimendi, right, is his clearances. Defensively, he's really good at clearing the ball. So this is out of per 90, yeah? 1.76 and then 77 clearances. Aerial juice, he's really good in the air, Zubimendi. It's incredible. Like, he's not that big, tall guy, but he's very good jumping. He's very good at timing his headers.
What's his ball security like? What's his technical ability like?
Security.
What's his firing balls in between the lines and taking it in tight spaces? Where's he going to play? Is he a 6? Is he an 8?
He's a 6. He can play more as a 6, yeah.
So Kobe Mainoo's position?
He's a 6 and an 8. Defensively playmaker.
Yeah, so defensive playmaker.
I would say more a Rodri type of player.
But then he's not. But Rodri can. This is the biggest thing. People think Rodri does more off the pitch than he actually. You know what I mean? He wins the ball back in the middle. But actually, because the way Man City play,
what we're saying,
he goes up the pitch more, and he's dictating the play, and he's also scores goals. Yeah. So let me just get to you about Zubimendi. He's compared to the likes of Sergio Busquets, right? But he's, you know what I mean, in that sense. But he's a defensive midfielder. His ability to break up play, protect the defense. His reading of the game is impressive. He's often first line defense at the back four. He's also excellent passer of the ball. Picks up teammates with well-timed passes. So his variation is really, really good, right?
So who would he come in for, bro?
It's very difficult to compare. It's very difficult to compare players. That's why every player has their own ability. It's not. So in terms of, he plays usually in the center of midfield, makes movements all over the pitch in order to create and provide much needed defensive possession-based ability on the pitch. He makes like 46 or 28 passes on average per 90, with completion rate of 87%. So that's really high passing completion.
It sounds like perhaps you're saying this is a player that might replace a Casemiro in our team.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. That's the type of player he plays, yeah.
So I'd say that's a consideration, because at the moment, if Casemiro was to be sold, I wouldn't have any major problem with that because of the season he's had last year. And if we can get somebody that is fit, that is got energy, and that can do that type of job, then I'm all for it. Plus, Casemiro's on 300,000 a week for another 2 years, I think, isn't it? 4 years, was it? So that would be good.
I think he's a bit more than that,
yeah. So basically,
that'd be all right.
The most impressive thing that I found about Zubimendi is that a lot of his passes are forward, averaging like 16.6 per match. And he makes about 7.26 passes in the final third per 90 minutes. He's a player who likes to provide control for his team and maintain possession. He shines with a setup where possession is the way to progress. Offers a good support to the team. So, but the team has to move up with him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's in terms of what Zubimendi is. He's a player that plays with other players. He's actually take-ons are quite good. You know what I mean? In terms of being press resistant. When he does the take-ons, he can actually like take people on, and his success rate is quite high in terms of how he takes people on. But yeah, that's Zubimendi. In terms of like, one of the things that I looked at, like one of the things to play in midfield actually is in interceptions by, to me, reading of the game. But clearances is one of the highest. Like, you know what I mean? Clearances and air duels one, and interceptions are quite high as well. You know, he's actually quite decent scoring goals when he gets into position. He's not bad. Yeah. You know, he's not bad at that. He's not bad, but what I'm saying to you, so keep it in mind. Keep that in mind, yeah? Zubimendi is more of a picking up the ball from the defense. He likes to play these balls, these passes, closer, you know, with the team moving up. And the team, keeping possession. So the ball is constantly being back to him. You know what I mean? The ball's be progressive, comes back, and then he starts again. So that's who he is. But it is the way, it's the system that gets the best out of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind, yeah? He's a system player, and the system keeps them. And that's why Spain, even though international football and league football, you can't really compare. When Rodri went off, he came in and seamlessly just slotted in because of the way Spain play. You know what I mean? And England gave them the ball. So that's what Spain played. So that's the type of player he is. He's what, 25, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, he's 25, 25 years old. He plays for Real Sociedad in Spain. And he's part of the Basque, that region. It's a beautiful city, by the way. If you ever go to Saint Sebastian, oh my God, what a place. I had the pleasure of being there, man, honestly. The food, the weather, the people, honestly, brilliant. I've had an amazing time. In the Basque Country, I really like the Basque Country. I've got a couple of friends there, but it's really nice, the Basque Country in Spain. So that's where he's from. Martin Zubimendi. That's Martin Zubimendi, right? That's who we got. Okay. The next player we're going to look at.
Fofana?
Yeah, we're going to look at Fofana, but you know what? Let me know what you think, though, quickly, what I said about him, and what do you like what I said about Zubimendi. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, well, Zubimendi, I think he's a great player, but I can't say that I've seen Real Sociedad too much this season. I saw him for Spain when he came on in the final for Rodri. He was brilliant. I think he's good on the ball. He's good in his passing and recycling the ball, keep hold of possession, and is quite good in progressive passes, passing the ball in between the lines. So that's one type of player we need, because one of the biggest issues with Man United this last season was possession. We couldn't keep hold of possession. We kept losing the ball over and over again, and the other team counterattacked us when we were high up the pitch, and we had too many people high up. So I think we need players like him. Not necessarily we need especially him, but someone like him. When we talk about Casemiro, for example, for me, I think Casemiro takes too many chances on the ball and he loses possession. He's not as secure as he should be. When he played at Real Madrid, they covered up that fault with Casemiro because he played with Modric and Kroos, who are brilliant on the ball and never loses the ball. So we couldn't see it. But now I starting to see Casemiro has lost a little bit of his passing abilities, and he loses the ball quite a lot. So a player like Zubimendi would be brilliant. Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah. I like him as a player, to be fair, from what I've seen. I remember when we played them over two legs in the Europa League not so long ago. And he caught my eye in that game when we played the two legs. Dictated play quite well, good ball distribution, sort of scanning of the back line. But one thing that I would probably say is, how old is he now? Is he mid-20s, do you know? What is it?
25.
25.
Okay, so he's 25. I am shocked that with all these traits and how good we're all saying that he is, that one of the top three clubs in Spain haven't got him as their DM. Barca have just lost Busquets. I'm shocked they haven't replaced him with this guy then. If he's this hyped up in Spain. I'm shocked that Madrid, when they did that midfield overhaul, they brought in Jude, they had Valverde through the ranks, and they brought in Camavinga. I'm surprised they didn't buy him in if he's this top player. And I'm shocked that someone like Atletico Madrid, who arguably Simeone has thrived off of a player like that, and Marcos Llorente, who's getting a lot older now, and Kondogbia, I'm shocked that they haven't looked at a player like this. And it's an easy deal to do for them. They're Spanish clubs. He's a Spanish international. It's an easy deal. I'm shocked that none of those clubs have actually gone and done this deal. That's probably what I would say about it. But if we're in the here and now, guys, 60 million euros, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people, I think, like Jarvis said, the only game that Jarvis has really seen most of him is that 45 minutes against England in the final. We did this with Onana last season, where people got gassed over one game in a Champions League final,
100%.
and we can see how that turned out. He had a shite first half of the season, and then a bit better in the second half. But I'm not going to judge players on one game. I'm certainly not going to judge them over two legs that I saw a couple of years ago. But I'm not going to pay 60 million euros for a player that I'm not sure about, guys. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I've been risk averted before.
Yeah, big up, Tom. Go ahead, Bombay.
I think Jarvis makes good points, and I think Tom's observation is also pertinent. I think with Madrid, they went for Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham. Lots of money spent. That's going to be the midfield going forward. I think they bought one more as well. So I can see perhaps why they haven't quite gone there yet. But Atletico, I think Tom makes a good point, in Barcelona too. I've never seen him. I've not even seen any highlights, and I don't even remember him in Spain. I don't know. I can't recollect it, but I've only read words, and people talk about Sergio Busquets, David Silva, ball secure, somebody that can take the ball in tight spaces, that kind of player. I'm also thinking about how Manchester United want to play. Manchester United have had a problem with retaining the ball, and that's been a shame, because it's part of the problems why when we are losing a footing in a game, we can't seem to get back into it. And as I say, I don't have any aversion to Casemiro going. I like the look of Ugarte. He allows you to play a transitional game because he has a good range of passing. He's very agile across the ground. It's a little bit Kante-ish for me, which I think we need some zip and some good tackling ability in there, but somebody that can also is not afraid to play and is a competent passer. Because Manchester United, I don't think we're just going to be a Pep Guardiola type side. I think we're going to be a hybrid. I think we're going to have our moments when we have some possession, but we're going to also have a moment where we just flip the game on its head and somebody can find the pass, and we have people going in behind. So Ugarte looks like a tidy player for me. This guy, I can't say much. Is he a welcome addition? I like the idea of Sergio Busquets and David Silva, so long as they can play alongside Kobe Mainu, and he continues his development.
He's not a David Silva. I don't know what somebody said about Silva. Listen, he is. Let me say something to you. He is. If Manchester United want to be a ball-playing team, he is technically sound. He is that age now. He can read the game. He is. If a Manchester United want to hold on to the ball, Zubimendi is really good at keeping the ball going, ticking, playmaking from deep, giving it to different people, advance up the pitch. His passes into the last third are quite good. You know what I mean? The passes that he makes is really quite good. He's defensively like headering. You don't kind of like credit Spanish players being good in the air. Clearance, really, no. He's very good at clearance. When there's about to be clearance, he's very good at attacking the ball and clearing the ball. He's
5'11", He's not a massive giant. It's decent. It's decent.
Because of his heading ability.
6 foot. Yeah, because
his heading ability always wins his aerials.
Yeah. The thing about him is that because he times the jump. Headering, it's not about how tall you are. It's about how much you time the header, like the timing of a header. So, and the technique of the headering, how you've been coached, how you are good at it, the agility, the bounceability that you have, and how long you can hang in the air as well. But in terms of Manchester United, you just said something, Bombay. You said, if Manchester United want to be ball secure, Zubimendi's the guy. If you want hot potato FC ever again, that's the guy. And the way he played for Spain, like I said, is you have to take it with a pinch of salt. Comparing international football to club football is totally different, especially Premier League, right? And international game is very different kind of slow because it's the end of the season. The players are usually tired, fatigued. Teams are not, you know what I mean? But Spain, they play the most consistent football, and he fitted in perfectly. They didn't miss Rodri. Rodri was not being missed, right? And he's very good at in terms of in the tackle. So for me, if Manchester United want to improve on from what the shambles we seen last season, and even improve on from the way we were in the first season, where we couldn't hold the ball at times, then Zubimendi is the guy. Now, let's get onto Ugarte. Let's get onto Ugarte. No, actually, let's get onto Fofana. So Fofana is a different type of player. So Yusuf Fofana, and again, Tom, you could level the same accusation at him as how come he's not being taken by any of the top European teams, because a lot of young French players in their early 20s and teenagers were taken by the top teams in Spain, in Germany, and in Italy, and in the Premier League.
Everywhere in Europe, they always
everywhere in Europe, but mainly
every summer.
The top leagues. Yusuf Fofana is 25 years old as well. He's 25 years old, right? He is somebody who's he's been one of the most consistent players for Monaco. Excuse me.
That's you.
Liverpool really fancy this guy, and in terms of the way the football that Jurgen Klopp, when Liverpool needed midfielders, and I'm like, how come they didn't press the trigger? He's got 1 year left in his contract, and that's why his asking price is something like 15 million. I think Milan only want to pay 5 million or something like that. Sorry, 10 million. They don't want to pay a lot more. So his asking price is about between 15 and 20 million euros. That's what's been reported. But he's that type of player that has, he's not left the La Liga. And I'm always like, well, what's going on with him? What is it about him? Everybody talks about him, by the way. Everybody says, midfielder Fofana. He's always in the mix in terms of what Fofana is, right? And he's actually stats. His stats are really, really good. And it's quite surprisingly really good, right? The cat's in, people. I'm just going to close the door. But I'll hold the thought right there. Boumbaye, have you heard of Yusuf Fofana?
Yeah, I have. I think he reminds me. I'm not sure. I don't want to, guys, make it out like I know any of these players, because I really don't. At best and at most, I like some people. I would have watched some YouTube. I saw Fofana. He seems a little bit more akin to a Casemiro, a younger version. But I'm really not sure at this point. The only thing I would say, and I'm going to have to jet anyway in the next 5 minutes, is that I really like the way Ineos are moving in this window. It feels different. We're just not a lot of fanfare. Players are getting signed. We've signed 2 important players very early. Two I think, good players. And long may it continue. And I'm excited about what this new team we've assembled is going to bring to Manchester United. And some people are saying that these players have been identified with the help of the people that have been brought in, and these are not Ten Hag autonomous. So I'd just say Ugarte is the one I know out of the 3 of these, and I quite like him. I think he's a good player. The other 2, you don't need to watch a player for a season. You can watch a player for a game or 2, and if you've got an eye for a player, you will be able to know if this is a good player or what type of player he is. But I'm afraid I've not seen Fofana at all, and I've not seen Zubimendi at all. The only one.
So let me continue. So let me continue.
I was just telling, bro, the boys, I'm gonna need to jet in 5.
Yeah. So I'll just quick about it. So Fofana actually. So listen to this. Fofana's progressive carries is incredibly high. Progressive passes is incredible. One of the things that I'm most really interested in thinking about him, he takes a lot of shots, and actually his shots are quite successful. He scores. Actually, he's really a threat in the opposition box. His interceptions is fantastic. His take-ons are incredible as well. But the thing that makes me want to think about progressive passes is his progressive passes and progressive carries. So he's quite strong at carrying the ball. He's very good at successful take-ons, and he's really good at his interceptions. Blocks are decent as well. Tackles are really good. But the thing about him is that in the last third, from everything that I've ever watched from him, he does give the ball away. So his ball security is not that great. Right? He's not somebody who is ball secure. In terms because he risks it, he tries things. He wants to get the ball through the lines to create chances for players. But in terms of being physically strong, is quite strong. He gets about the pitch. But like I said to you, remember that they didn't have Kante. And for me, it's kind of worrying as well, even though I don't rate the Shams. Why would you bring Kante back when you've got Fofana? Like, Fofana could have been the next guy to replace him. That aggressive, ball-winning kind of player. But he's actually more of a number 8 than he is more of a number 6. He plays as a 6 for Monaco. He can play that role, but that's French football. Quickly, I'll get to before you go, Bumbaye. The last player we're looking at is Ugarte.
Yeah.
Now, Ugarte is different for me out of those two. Ugarte is really quite different from these two.
Okay.
You know, Ugarte is different from me. He's different from these two players because he is somebody who is a bit more physically dominant. He's got incredibly intense way of playing in terms of how he wins the ball. He is not that great on the ball. If you want the honest truth, he's not that great on the ball. He's not the worst, don't get it twisted. But he's not that great on the ball. He is not really good on the ball. And in terms of what he is, actually his pass completion is really good in terms of passing the ball. But in terms of like carrying the ball or like, I'm not. But what he is incredible at, he is out of the three the best tackler by absolute mile.
Yeah.
He's the best that can intercept and like intercept the ball. He's incredible. Assist-wise, he's no longer there. In terms of asking him to score a goal, forget about it. Touches at the pen, you don't see him anywhere near the penalty. He's not the kind of guy who's anywhere near the penalty. In terms of attempted passes and pass completion per 90, it's quite good. So 61%, 77 completion. That's what he does. 90, he's got 91 or 92 pass completion rate of pass completion. But he passes to the better players. So he passes it side to side. He's not a guy who's going to play incredibly well. He's similar to like Casado. He's similar to Sergio Ruiz. He's similar to Emre Can. You know, Emre Can. That's the type of player he is. But what he is, for me, one of the most aggressive footballers of winning a ball. He's a Uruguayan. I have never seen a passive Uruguayan player in my life. I have never seen a passive Uruguayan player. They're not passive. They play with aggression, with intensity. That's what he is. So he's quite distinct. Zubimendi and Fofana have similar. They have similar kind of qualities, right? They're similar. Even though Fofana is more of an attacking number 8. He's more of a number 8. But Ugarte is a ball winner guy. He is a dog. He hunt the ball down, grab the ball, bully people, get yellow cards, get red cards. He's that type of guy. He plays with a lot of aggression. He plays on the edge. That's what he does. And he gives the ball to the better players. But he's defensively, he's tackling. It's incredible. Honestly, like I said to you, tackles, this is per 90 people. 4.11, 99 times percentage. That's what I'm saying here. So 4.11, right? 99 percentile. That's incredible. Interceptions, 1.38, 96. So he's tackling and interceptions per 90 are off the charts.
I think when you think about Ugarte, you're exactly right in terms of his goal scoring prowess is
not there.
Is not
Zero.
there at all.
Zero.
He actually looks small, but he's actually 6 foot, Ugarte. And his ability to cover the ground so well is excellent. When you watch him, he almost looks like a Kante. I thought he was a lot smaller than that because of how he covers ground, and his tackling is amazing. It's excellent, a very clean tackler as well. What I liked about him is his positional sense is very good. You know how you were saying Amrabat did really well in the last third of the season. He played really well in a few games. When you watch Ugarte, he seems to do that as part of the repertoire in every game. But he's actually quite a good long passer. His range of passing and playing a good ball into space to turn a game is something that I really liked about him and noticed about him. He's definitely not like a Zubimendi, Dino, in terms of his quality and ball security. But it depends on what qualities we want and how each one of those players, the qualities that they bring to the starting 11 will complement what we have in Bruno, Mount, and Kobe Mainu.
No, 100%. Ugarte is the one. He'll complement anybody who's good on the ball in midfield next to him. He'll complement that. Because the levels that he gets to win the ball back is incredible. Like I said, he is incredible winning the ball back.
I know him. I like him, and I like the Zubimendi that you mentioned. Fofana is probably third on my list, and I don't know him a lot. He's still quite young, isn't he? He's the youngest one.
No. Ugarte is the youngest actually.
Ugarte is 23.
The other two are like 25, 26.
Both of them are 25, 26. 25, 26.
If you had to put them in order, guys, 1, 2, 3, what would you do?
Well, that's what I'm asking you in terms of what Manchester United are. I would go for, to me, my dream partnership is Ugarte and Zubimendi in midfield. Get rid of Scott McTominay, get rid of Casemiro, get rid of Eriksen, bring those two in, and promote Toby Collier. That's what I would do.
What does the starting lineup look like? This is another thing. I mean, we've got Cobb, we've got Mason Mount, and we've got Bruno Fernandes.
So what I would do, like I said, get rid of Eriksen, Casemiro, and Scott McTominay. So you get rid of 3, buy 2, promote a youth player. There's 2 of them, by the way.
You need an absolute bare minimum of 5, but you'd be better off with 6. But who is Ugarte coming in for? Is it Kobe Mainu?
Casemiro.
But what I'm saying is, forget Casemiro. Casemiro's out anyway. Let's say you're talking about Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, and Kobe Mainu. That's the 3. Those are the key 3 that are staying, and they're guaranteed.
Yeah. So for me, that's what. But so in my midfield, midfield, Bombay, in my perfect midfield, Kobe Mainu takes the position that Bruno has. Kobe plays him at number 10.
And then Ugarte sits where Kobe has been sitting.
No, Kobe doesn't really sit, but yeah. Ugarte will play where Casemiro usually plays, and then Zubimendi will play right next to him, and I will have two. I'll have.
Isn't that 4-3-3, bro?
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. So the 3 midfield would be Ugarte, Zubimendi, and Kobe Mainu as they advance almost 10.
Yeah, that's what you would.
I'll play a double pivot. I will play a double pivot, and I will play Zubimendi, but that's in the perfect world. But Ugarte is the guy that Manchester United need right now.
Like the real world, bro. We're basically shunning 2 of our big players. He's already had a flop in Anthony. God knows what that's going to do. So Mason Mount is somebody that you expect this will be the breakout season, and hopefully he doesn't get injured, to show us what he's done, and for Erik ten Hag to show us that this is an astute signing. And Bruno Fernandes is our captain. They will play. So when I'm thinking about these players that are going to come in, I'm doing it in a realistic way. I know that's what you'd like, but that's really not going to happen. So realistically, we're looking at it. Let's say you get one of those 3. Who is that player coming in to replace? Casemiro, forget him. He's out of the picture. Fernandes, Fernandes is the guy. Okay.
No, because nobody's come to replace Fernandes. For me, Kobe is the natural replacement for Fernandes. We already got Kobe. And
so what I'm saying is Bruno is the guy that has to make way for the new signing out of the Mount, Bruno, and Mainu.
Yeah. For me, I don't know what Mason Mount is, so I don't know. We're gonna get injuries again. We buy a broken guy? But right now, you said to me, the first game of the season, you had a chance to buy Zubimendi or Ugarte. I'll get them 2 and play Kobe with him.
Okay.
That's what I do. But yeah, That's what I'll do. But yeah, Ugarte is the guy. He's 23 years old. He is a very aggressive ball winner. But he's also, like, a lot of people rate him. Like I said to you, a lot of people see him actually and really, really rate him, and really would say he's that good. You know what I mean? He's this good.
Does anybody rate Xavi Simons?
Yeah, Alien Tenno does. Xavi Simons is a young player, isn't he?
What do you guys think of him? I'm I see.
Let me just finish what I'm saying about Ugarte quickly, just for the people who don't know. People are saying about Ugarte, saying that Ugarte is actually, his technical ability is really good, and the stats don't show how technically good he is. You know, he's a technical ability and tactical knowledge. So he said he's very good at taking in the coach's instructions. He's got this unique characteristic of for a player in his position. He's very difficult. He's very defensive midfield that's well developed tactically, with good decision making, but also builds up very aggressively without the ball. So yeah, he's tactical. He played for Sporting Lisbon, so he left Sporting Lisbon to sign for Paris Saint-Germain. But Paris Saint-Germain have probably the best young midfielder in world football at the moment for me. Like, in terms of his position, playing as that number 6, Vitinha. And Vitinha is incredible. He's absolutely incredible.
Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha.
Vitinha is incredible.
This is their midfield, you know. They want João Neves as well. They've already got
because
Simmons,
Luis Enrique does not fancy Ugarte. He doesn't rate Ugarte.
No.
He doesn't. He wants ball playing. He wants ball playing Vitinha, and he wants Paulo Neves. Ball players. That's what he wants in his midfield. Small guys with low sense of gravity, getting the ball to feet, moving it, technical footballers. That's what he wants. So that's what we'll get. But yeah, Bumbaye, big up. Apparently, just to inform you, I don't know what you think of it, but Manchester United apparently have run out of money. We went a bit too early, people. Spent 100 million already. Nearly 100 million, innit? 52 million we spent on euro, and we've spent 34 million euro? Whatever. 30 million pounds. So we spent nearly 90 million or 80 million anyway. Nearly 90 million we've spent. So Manchester United have to sell. But in terms of agreeing personal terms with De-Ligt, we've done that. But Bayern want 50 million. They want 50 million euro. Was it 50 million euros or 50 million pounds? I think it's pounds.
Why?
Because that's what the money they want for him. He's 24 years old. They rate him, but they want to sell to buy. So they want about 50 million for him, and they want to be able to buy. So
they want to buy Tar from Leverkusen, that's why, and they can't.
Jonathan Tar.
They're in the same predicament as us lads, where they've got to sell before they can buy anybody else. They bought a couple. They bought Paulinho. Paulinho was the one that they wanted out of all of them. Elise was another player that they wanted out of all of the players that they won. We've done the same thing with Euro and Zirk, so they were the ones that we thought we can't miss out on. We have to get them before other people get them. And now you just basically have to pick up the pieces and find a way to get some money into the club. The only thing that I'd say, guys, though, probably to touch on the 3 players that we discussed about, if I had to compare it to the speed of the Premier League, who I think is going to suit the way that we play, or the way that we supposedly want to play, which is this aggressive pressing style, I would say Ugarte, out of all 3 of them, is more mobile, will track players a lot better. We already know he's got that aggressive Uruguayan side player to him. The way that he's modelled as a player fits what we have in this team right now, which is aggressive warriors, as we would say, because we do have players that will go into 50-50 tackles and come out the other side of it, probably looking worse for wear. But at the end of the day, they put the blood and they put everything on the line for the badge. That's the sort of players that you want at this club. And at the end of the day, guys, even in saying that, Ugarte is 23 years old. If you want to develop him so that he can turn and carry the ball, take him on a pre-season tour, guys, and you can do that with him for a whole tour and help him learn, help him coach him it. Because if Luis Enrique is not going to help him coach that when he's got 4 or 5 kids who are already built and have been born and raised that way of playing in that style, why would he waste his time on Ugarte and say, "Oh, well, I'm going to learn you and I'm going to coach you how to do it"? There's no point when you've got 3 younger players who already know how to do it, who's far more advanced in that way of playing than he is. The difference with Ugarte, the only thing that I'm saying out of all this, guys, is with Ugarte, I'm not here for these 70 million euro figures. De-Ligt, I'm in the same boat, guys. I'm not here for this 50 million euros shy. If it doesn't make this is my favourite quote of Manchester United at this moment in time. If it makes football sense and it makes financial sense, sign the player. But if one of the two doesn't match up, if it doesn't make football sense because the age or whatever, or the actual position that we want, ideally in this squad, or it doesn't make financial sense because it doesn't fit what we're trying to target, which is maybe players lesser than, say, 50 million, then I think that's where we're going to have concerns. Because for me, guys, unless we sign a superstar player in this team right now, you ain't going to touch over 50 million for either De-Ligt or Ugarte. And PSG clearly aren't negotiating with us. Bayern, I don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. I think they're being, as much as they've got a new ownership in place and everything and that, I think they're being very snide, considering that they want to move in the market, but you're not willing to do deals with anybody. But like me and you said, Dino, on Monday, this is where we have to see this list. I want to see these lists that we've supposedly got, where we've got 5 or 6 players, and if one of them's a no-go, okay, we'll move to the next one then. So if Ugarte is the player that they want, guys, and they can't get him, okay, fine. Go to Zubimendi. If you can't get Zubimendi out of there, or you don't want to pay the clause, okay, go for Fofana. And if that's how the list goes, like Bombay was saying, 1, 2, 3, if he was to rank them, I'm not bothered. So long as it's a player that's going to benefit us in a positive way, and I think either 3 of the midfielders that we're linked with, guys, is going to benefit us more in a positive way than a negative. The only difference is Ugarte is probably a different profile to the younger. My only main concern with it all, though, guys, is unless we actually go down and we can actually break these clubs' valuations down, you're not going to move anywhere with these players. So I don't want us to sit around and twiddle on his thumbs and play like the old Manchester United, which is we'll sit here all summer and we'll wait until we can get a lower fee for them. If it's a no-go, go for a different target. You saw how we did the Xerxes deal, guys. We paid a little bit more so we can pay over a longer period. That's smart business and financial sense. The Lenny Euro deal, pay it out. Yeah, it's a large upfront fee for what it is for a total package. When people see £52 million, they think 52 million for an 18-year-old, but you're paying it over 4 or 5 years. It's not as bad as it seems, really. What, 10, 12 million a year? It's not bad in all considerations. But at the end of the day, guys, the most important thing we need quality, but we need players who have that at least level-headed experience. Because Xerxes, for me, has not got top European experience. He's had one real breakout season in
and
Europe.
that was more on a system. He actually played well because of the system.
And Lenny Euro, if we want to argue it, guys, he had 2 years in that Lille setup, but the only year that anybody really remembers him for is last season. That's 1 year's experience at proper football. Ugarte, you can say he's had at least 2 or 3 because he had 2 years at Sporting previously, and then he's also had that experience at PSG, and he's at major tournaments like the Copa America as well. So experience, I want experience to play a factor in all these things, guys, as well.
Yeah, cool. But, yeah, Tom, big up. Bombay, before we let you go, last word from you, and then we'll go to Jarvis for what he thinks about Ugarte and Fofana.
Yeah, I like the transfer market so far. We're just waking up and deals are done. There's not too much noise going on. We've signed 2 very good players. I think in the grand scheme of things, we're signing Lenny Euro, who is tipped to be a great defender, not just any ordinary player. This is a guy whose statistics are only secondary to Van Dijk across Europe as an 18-year-old. He has, as Tom said, played 59 games for Lille, the bulk of which was this season. So it's a fair amount of games, and to be dependent on a guy week in, week out, he's handling it. And when you buy a player who comes with that kind of noise, you have to pay for it. And if you want something, you have to pay for it. If you don't get anything for free. Real Madrid, he would have liked to have gone there, but Madrid messed it up for themselves because they thought they gave an ultimatum to them. We're only paying 20 to 25 million euros, or we'll just take him for free next season. You can't just deal with people like that. Take players who are tipped to be great. Just keep doing that. That's not going to work. And PSG, I think, offered in the region of 40 million euros. So we've paid for him. And, I'm really happy he's here. I think he looks like a player. And, if he plays well, that fee will soon be forgotten. And Xerxes, for me, is exactly what we need. I don't think it would have been right to get somebody like Osimhen or a Kane ahead of Højlund. I don't think that's the right way to go. I think somebody in and around him. You have Ruud now there. You can see how Ruud was corresponding and interacting with Hugill, for example. He's been brought in to help them, to teach them. And now there's competition for Højlund. And Xerxes is a good player because he's a multifunctional player. And he has a good pedigree for scoring goals. He's young. So far, so good. I want to see a midfielder. And I'd like to see a right back if Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going. With regards to the centre backs, which is the other position, Martinez, I hope, stays fit, because if he's out, we have a big problem. I think Euro will start for us. So, he looks like a really tidy player. And then you get one more centre back. You're saying De-Ligt. I mean, De-Ligt fine, but nobody seems to be clamouring to keep him. Juventus weren't too bothered. Bayern Munich are going a different way, and he's only 24. His star was burning bright before, and it's really dimmed out. And this, for me, is a little bit of a punt because the injury record also is not great. There have been some injuries there.
Million.
Yeah, so with him, I think it's a little bit high.
I only ever agreed. It was like 34 million, something like that. That's why I agreed, because it's cheap.
It's not quite a punt. He is a good player, but we're doing what Liverpool are trying to do with Ryan Gravenberch, who burst onto the scene, made big headlines, went to Bayern Munich, like De Ligt's done, and they've bought a player on the cheap to try and resurrect him because they think they can. I think with De Ligt, it will be the same. And again, this isn't Italy, nor is it Germany. This is England. This is the Premier League.
It's a lot fucking harder than the league has been.
Yes, exactly. And most weeks he's overlooked anyway. So I think 50 million is not cheap, but it's up to them what they're going to do. And you keep Maguire and you sell Lindelof. That's what I would do. You need, bro, because we need four. We need four. I don't think we're going to get two more centre backs. It's a process. I can't expect any of us to get everything in one transfer window. But
by the way, most likely Xavi Simons is going to. I know Peter loves him, Alien Tenor, big up. But apparently he's going to Germany.
Yeah, Leipzig.
Yeah, I mean, Xavi Simons to me is he looks ordinary. To be honest, it's not somebody I'd be clamouring for. To be honest, but that's my take on it. I'd keep Maguire. Maybe you have somebody in the reserves you can promote. You've got Euro, Martinez, and you bring De Ligt in. Fine.
Yeah, Will Fish.
Will Fish. He's been making headlines.
Will Fish, yeah. He went playing Aberdeen. Is it Aberdeen or Dundee? One of them. He played for Dundee or Aberdeen. One of them. I think it's Dundee.
Then I think if we're going to sell Wan-Bissaka, that seems plausible. You'll need another right back, and then you add at least one midfielder in there. If Casemiro goes, I'd say he's the first one I'd get rid of out the door if we can get a good replacement, because Casemiro's a big worry for me. McTominay is not amazing, but he's generally fit and low maintenance. You can come in, he does a job. And with the other five guys that we've got, that I go into that season, okay, 5 midfielders is the bare minimum you need, because you deploy 3 every week. You need to rotate. If you get injury to just 1, then you're down to 4. It's difficult. 6 would be perfect, but maybe we've got somebody in the that guy you were talking about as the 6th guy, the youth guy.
Will
Fish, yeah.
Yeah, something
But
like
he's
5
hardly a youth.
proper
He's
players.
21.
Yeah, 5 proper players and a youth player. And we go into the season with that, and I'm looking for Erik ten Hag to bring a good brand of football, something nice that we enjoy watching. And I'm looking to get back into that top 4 playing good football. If we get that, then we bounce on from there. That's pretty much my take on it,
But the problem I see with your take, Nordin, is about selling players, because I think for me now, I've been on the Ineos train, I'm very impressed by how they have done this transfer window. We have had a lot of sales. We have sold Greenwood, Kwambala, Fernandes, Donny van de Beek, Rafael Varane, and Martial is off the books. So and we are linked to a lot of, I would say, exciting players. But the thing is, when all these 3 players we have been talking about now, for me, I think we are in a tactical or a stylistically crossroad of what we want to do. Because as I see it now, we have Ugarte, who is a destroyer. We have Zubimendi, who is a regista, a deep lying playmaker, and Fofana is an number 8 box to box midfielder in a way, maybe slightly more attacking than the other 2. So what are we actually trying to do? Who are we replacing, and where do we want to put them in the midfield? That's a really good question for us going forward. Because if we are serious about playing high press, high recoveries, and someone to shield the defense, we need Ugarte without a doubt, or a similar player like him. Zubimendi and Fofana are not similar players to him. So for me, I'm not quite sure why we are linked to all these players, because for me they are different types. They have different attributes. So that's very strange for me, because we need a DM. We should be linked to a destroyer like Ugarte or another destroyer. So this is what I'm not understanding with all.
And that's why I said we have to take it with a lot of salt. You know what I mean? We have to take it with a lot of pinch of salt, because as I explained before, agent, club, a journalist. That's how it works to get the news out of that player.
It is like this.
And
but my second
is already on his way to AC Milan, and they weren't going to pay. So to get Milan to pay a bit more, you throw Manchester United's name on it. You know what I mean? We know that. We know how that
works. These reports, I think, just to finish, you want to take the reports as well with a pinch of salt. I mean, Fofana just came into the picture from nowhere. Ugarte seems like the one that's been quite realistic.
We've agreed terms. We've agreed terms with him. That's what's been reported.
Nordin, my second point now with Boumbaye's point, he said about selling players. For me, I'm starting to realize what's actually going on, because as you said, we have spent a lot of money so far. Our liquidity, we don't have any cash left. We have a little bit, but we are at the point where we need to sell players. So every season transfer window, we come to this point, and we are stuck with overpaid prima donnas who don't want to leave. They want to stay because no one else can offer them this high type of wages.
That's Glazonomics, though, isn't it?
We are stuck with Casemiro, McTominay, Eriks, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, you name it, all of them, the usual suspects, and they like it here. And today they went on the airplane over to the US tour. And when the US tour is finished, we are so close to starting the season. So they will just stay another season. So
I think, Jav, we need to showcase them, though. Don't you think, man? We need to, like, he put Sancho back in. Is it because he's made up with him? He's not apologized. But don't we need to showcase these players?
At the end of the day, listen, the biggest thing is this. Next season will be, not this season, but the season after, will be Maguire's last season, Lindelof last season, Wan-Bissaka, if he doesn't sign a contract this summer, it'll be his last season. Scott McTominay's last season. Remember all these things, people. So there's 5 players.
Yeah, but the problem, Nordin, is the only way we can get rid of them is to let them run down their contracts, because
Well, that's what
they
the
ain't
Glazer.
leaving.
That's Glazer
That's not
policy.
leaving.
That's the
Yeah.
Glazer policy.
Yeah.
Glazers have done that.
I think Ineos have inherited a bit of a conundrum, because
Yeah.
even if you're willing to accept, let's say, 15 million for Wan-Bissaka and you paid 50 for him, it's about the wages. Sancho now, we paid 75. Let's say you say, okay, we'll take 35, but he's on 350 a week. This is a problem that Ineos inherited before. So at a certain point, what do you do if Ineos? What's a good? How do we look at Ineos as you've done the right thing? Do you let him go for nothing? I mean, he's worth something. If you want him, you're going to have to pay something for him. He's Jadon Sancho under the day. He's not a pile of shit, but he's not for us. Wan-Bissaka has got some excellent qualities and some deficiencies. Can't ask for, paid 50 for the guy. He's a young kid still. We're asking you for 15, 20 million, and even that's too much because of the wages. That's a problem that Ineos have inherited from the Glazers. So if that continues to happen going forward, then I can indict Ineos. But at this point, every single manager from Jose onwards seems to have had a major problem when they ask for players to be sold in order to use that cash to replace them with players that fit what their vision is. And that problem is not going to just disappear overnight, because these players in reality, they are at Man United, yes, so they got their big contracts, but West Ham can't pay you that. Borussia Dortmund can't pay you that. AC Milan certainly can't pay you that. It's a
Yep.
problem that the Glazers manufactured, and I can't hold it against Ineos if they can simply not solve it, because the prices are good. Greenwood for 24 million is bargain of the millennium. They've got a great player there. Wan-Bissaka, when we're asking 15, 20 million, I mean, what do you want? 5 million? We've got to be realistic as well. We
Yeah,
can't just simply throw
I
money out.
agree, Bomboye, what you're saying, because but my point is, if we were serious about selling Casemiro, McTominay, Eriksen, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, and all of this, we should have excluded them from the US tour to make them feel unwelcome. But we can't do that because we don't have. We
I
lack the
wouldn't
cash
do
to
that,
play
Curtis.
hardball at this club.
Bro, I
But
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I think you're going to disrupt the balance of the squad unnecessarily. If they're here, you need to showcase them in order for people to look at them and get them sold. If you start making camps and divisions within the team now, this is bad for the season going forward. That's the last thing you want.
yeah, but the problem is they don't want to take a pay cut, because they feel welcome here. They're comfortable at the club. They have big houses in Manchester. They're happy. They don't want to move. They don't want to stay here, and that's why we will struggle with this dross of a squad for at least 3 more years, I believe, maybe two more years before
I
their
mean,
contracts run out.
I understand that, but I don't want a group of players, 4 or 5 players that we'd like to sell, to isolate them from the squad and create divisions and start the season that way. If they don't go and they're here, then either they won't play or either they will play.
Yeah, but the thing is,
They
Bombay,
can still be
now we are
useful.
with new management with Ineos, so
Yeah.
now could be the time to do this actually without creating all this drama. And we could just say you are not the future. We wanna put our bets on Maxi Odiele, Toby Collier, Will Fish, Hariyama, Seaton Wheatley. Let them play. They will take your spot because we are looking for the future. We are going to be a good Man United in 3 to 5 years, and you won't be here then. So now it's the time. So you have to move on.
I
Force
think
them
you
out.
can do that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think you can do that. But Manchester United over the last 10 years, how many times have we gone into seasons where we're tearing at the seams because we have different cliques and stuff like that?
Yeah.
If you have that and you have the greatest 11 players in the world, you're just not going to win that way. You need the squad to be together. If some of these guys are here, then you don't have to play them.
Yeah.
Everybody should be playing on merit. Um, for somebody who's on 350,000 a week, Casemiro, this was his last big payday. The only place he can go is Saudi, and if they don't come in, if I was Casemiro, would I go take a £200,000 a week pay cut? That's unrealistic to expect that of Casemiro. If somebody throws money at you, you take it, you accept it. It's a ridiculous, ludicrous deal. But I don't
Yeah.
think that it will be solved that way. They should go on the tour for me, Let's showcase them. Let's, if they play well, maybe somebody will come in. And if they don't go, man, okay, we deal with that. They're on the books. They're on the books. I don't think one transfer window is going to solve and revolutionize Man United overnight. And like Dino's saying, okay, Casemiro leaves on a free next year. Fine. See you later. Another 12 months, no problem. Maguire, the same. McTominay is not on a lot of money, bro. I think with McTominay, people are coming in with bullshit money, though. McTominay is not worth 15 million and 17 million. Man United want a bit more money for him. It's fair, something between 20, 25, 30. Yeah, we go with that. We have the right to value our players as well and not just throw them away. And we've been, guilty of just launching players out for nothing. So far so good, man. There's always a midway, a midway point, I think, to be had in this. I just want to go into the season trouble free. No Ronaldo bullshit, no Sancho nonsense, no just no nonsense. Let's get down to brass taxes, come together as a team and start playing. And if you're playing well, and it doesn't matter who you are, play the right players, man. Don't be afraid don't do a Southgate on us. Play the shit. Play the players that deserve to play. Play the players that fit what you're trying to do. You have to steal a place in this squad, man. That's what we've been missing. You need competition for places. Your striker needs competition. Wide guys need competition. Ahmad's here now. He's taken that off Anthony. It's got to be Ahmad's season to start shining. If Rashford is going to have last year's season, Garnacho, you crack on, man. You keep doing what you're doing. If Fernandez is going to have a stinker, okay, fine. Like Nuruddin says, Ugarte, you're going to play where Mainu is. Mainu, you're moving up instead there. Captain or no captain. That's football, man. This is how it has to be at United now. But competition for places.
Yeah, definitely we need competition. And this is why I want the youngsters to have a fair chance, because I think my worry is that that we will prioritize Maguire instead of Will Fish, for example, and we will prioritize McTominay instead of Maxi Oyedele, because what I saw from him against Glasgow Rangers, he was brilliant. His assist on the goal was fantastic. He looks composed on the ball. He's young. He's 19 years old. He will be 20 this winter, I believe. And he just need experience, a little bit more game time and a fair chance. But now we will see all of these overpaid prima donnas staying, and all of these youngsters we play in the academy, in the under-21 league, and that's like level 4 in England or lower. So how will they develop? So I have a lot of worries, but yeah.
Bro, how they develop is if we free Palestine. That's how everybody develops.
Yeah.
As Ethan BTC, man, he said it right. Free Palestine, to hell with Zionism. And let's just be optimistic. I think we've got the right manager, man. We fought for this guy. So he's got a structure. He's the only manager out of 20 teams in this league, as Gary Neville put it, that has never had a structure. And that's what we were saying and we wanted to see. Now, he's not only got a structure, he's got some of the best in the business. Dan Ashworth, man, is an exciting signing. Everywhere he's gone, he's signed great players. And he's done really, really well. And the expertise and experience from all the other guys in this new team is proven. Omar Barada is not a donkey. Manchester City have made some tremendous progress all over the world with their 5 teams. What they've been able to do. The other guy, what's he called? The cycling dude.
Yeah. Dave Brailsford.
So it's
you mean Dodgy Dave?
Dodgy Dave, bro.
Dodgy Dave.
Dodgy Dave.
Yeah, Dodgy Dave. Listen,
yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this football club. For me,
when are we playing Arsenal, bro?
For me, I would pay some of the money with the wages that I've saved, that money to pay these players to get them to get that out of the club. Yeah. I wouldn't stand with them because they're stopping the team from progressing. And by the way,
Yeah.
Maguire and McTominay need to go Mbaye. You need to get that into your head because you've been used to the bullshit football those two have been offering up in the past couple of years.
It's not
You're
that, bro.
used to that, and
Do you
your
know-
brain is like, we need to hold on to the. No, we don't fucking need to hold on to these players.
Look what I'm
Manchester
trying to
United
say.
need to be better than them. Would Maguire, would McTominay get in any side in the top 4? No, he wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. They would not be able to get in Liverpool. They would not be able to get into Arsenal. They were not getting definitely into Man City, and they would definitely not get into even Aston Villa now, who made
But I don't think any Manchester United player out of the starting 11 would get in.
No, Kobe Menu would. Kobe Menu would get in any team in the top 4.
He wouldn't get in.
Yes,
He wouldn't get in City's team.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. Are you kidding me? Kobe Menu, Jarvis, would not get in City's team.
No,
he will. Yeah, he's better than.
He's perfect.
Against
He's
better
perfect
than who?
for Man City. That Man City midfield needs someone like him to replace De Bruyne.
He's not getting in ahead of De Bruyne or
No,
Rodri.
De Bruyne
or
is
Foden.
old. He's getting too many
34.
injuries.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying that, but he's not Kevin De Bruyne. He's not.
Kobe
he's not
Mainoo
gonna
is
play
getting
like
in.
that.
Kobe Mainoo is getting in into that Man City team.
But
And he's
look,
coming
when
off the
when
bench
when
playing games.
what I'm trying to say to you is, remember,
Scott
I'm looking
McTominay
at
is
this
not. Let Scott
realistically.
McTominay and Maguire go Mbaye. Stop holding on to these dead footballers.
What I'm saying with regards to Maguire, I prefer Maguire based on the player and the season that he had over Lindelof. And I say you keep Maguire and you sell Lindelof if I have to choose one of the two, because unless they're going to go and get 2 more centre backs, we need 4. We need 4, brother. Yeah. So you've got 2 in Euro and Martinez. You've got let's say you get De-Ligt, that frees up Lindelof to be sold. So I'm saying to you, who would you rather keep, Lindelof or Maguire? If you say Lindelof, I'm not going to hate to argue with you over these two, but I definitely would keep Maguire over Lindelof personally.
I want to get rid of both of them. I don't want anywhere near.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
they're
I don't
defenders
think
you have
that's
to
going to happen.
babysit. They're defenders you have to babysit. I don't want to babysit anybody anymore. And the
I
fact
think
that you think Scott McTominay, Manchester United to go and get somebody who's sound but can also score goals. And I told you the guy, if you got one guy to replace Scott McTominay, it'd be like Fofana. He's a massive threat in the goal in the opposition's goal, and he's better footballer than Scott McTominay.
If he is. I'm not disputing. I'm telling you that Scott McTominay is a amazing player. I'm just looking at the transfer window realistically. I've listened to the fact that, as you say, there isn't a lot of money, and we do struggle to shift players because of the money that they're on, in spite of the fact that the transfer fee is relatively attractive. But we do need an absolute bare minimum of 5 really good midfielders and 6, because we're going to be deploying on a weekly basis 3. Let's say Mount has a breakdown. Okay, now we're down to 5 or 4 if you've got 5. Games are coming thick and fast. You got to give rest. You got to rotate. Europa League, all that. You need 6, man. So if you get one midfielder, just one midfielder, let's say, and I'm just looking at this realistically, who's the first name I'd like to be out the door? For me, I'd like to get rid of Casemiro from a financial point of view, and on the basis of what he's been serving up. He just doesn't seem to have ever looked like an injury-free player last year. And the way he's tackling, it's becoming a little bit liability, and he's getting caught out a lot. Is it the system? Maybe. Maybe if he stays this year, we'll see a different guy, just on the basis of last season. The reason I'm not in a rush always to make Scott McTominay my first guy to cull, because when I look at him, that's a guy that is very low maintenance, on not very much money. I think he's on about 120,000 a week, which is chicken feed really in comparison to his counterparts. And this is a guy from the academy. He comes in, he does a job. Sometimes he is good. He is a good player. Sometimes he's awful. But as part of a repertoire of 5 or 6 players, he comes in and he does a job. He's not a starter. He wouldn't get into the City team or the Arsenal team. Of course not. I think he'd be half decent in the Liverpool team the way Klopp used to play. I really do. But that's my take on it. Whereas Casemiro is sucking the life out of us financially, and he's not really offering anything. He's quite old. So I'm more in a rush to get rid of him. If Scott is sold, I'm not going to cry over it. If we're going to get somebody good, somebody to replace him. But I'm just looking at it realistically, bro. We've got 2 signings in. We've sold a few guys. Are we going to get 2 more midfielders in? I don't think so. Are we going to get 2 more quality defenders in? I don't think so. And this is why I'm talking about, I'm listening to Jarvis talk about Will Fish, Chaloba, the other midfielder that you spoke about. I'm listening to
Maxi Oyedele, the guy with the headband.
And this is why towards the end of the season, when you asked me, bro, I was saying I hope Kwambala stays as he's all right. He can come in, he can help us, he can do a job. And I'm just thinking about injuries, the amount of games that are coming, because I'm a little bit traumatized with the season that we've had, man. So I don't think it's going to all happen like,
not alone.
Yeah. Do you know, I want to be fair with Ineos. I want to be fair with them. So far, I like it. I'm not going to get everything I want, but if I get close, that's okay, because January's there. Next summer's there. As long as we're building and moving in the right direction.
The thing is with Ineos. Yeah, go ahead. I just want to say the thing is with Ineos, they have brought in. Let's compare it to a house, and they have brought in the best carpenters, the best electricians, the best plumbers, the best roofers, everything, and they have a string budget, and they are trying to fix the house. But in reality, the house needs demolition. That's the thing. So it will be very difficult. And now they have started this summer, and they have refurbished the kitchen, and everything looked brand new. But when you come into the hallway, you smell the mold. So this is the problem with Man United at the moment, because it's not on Ineos. The problem is the Glazers let the house rot for 20 years, and it won't be fixed in one season. It will take a lot of time. So we have to be realistic, and that's why I'm talking about reality starts to kick in now. And I think we will come to the same conclusion as we have done every transfer window. It comes to one point, and we can't go any further because we can't sell players and get money in so we can reinvest into the squad. We just have to wait and let these players run down the contract, and then finally we can start to kick on.
Transfer window is still young, guys. Got another month, over a month. We've got what? 5 to 6 weeks left. Long time, and we've already done some good business in terms of outs. Like Jarvis said, there have been, they're gone. Whether it was contract rundown or we've sold them, they're off the books because they're of no use to us. And we've brought in 2 really nice, tidy players. So 2-3 more ins, 2-3 outs. Yeah, man. I think things will look all right.
Yeah. I agree. But for me, it's just we got to be patient.
Yeah, we've got to be patient. I think, don't start kicking off and going berserko if the first couple of games are not, absolutely gorgeous. I know there's a lot of people waiting for that to just lose their shit. And that's just something I will have to take with a pinch of salt. Some people who have said Ten Hag out, they want to be right. Some people like me who have hung on to him understand that, okay, we are still developing now. Last year was a waste of time because we couldn't even train the players to play the way that Erik Ten Hag wanted. The sheer volume of missing players. So now, let's see.
Yeah, I have a question, Nordin, when it comes to Kobe Mainu. He came back and he's going to the US tour now, but he didn't have 3 weeks off after the Euros. Do you fear that he will burn out?
Who's that? Kobe?
Kobe, yeah, he's back in training.
100%.
Do you think it's the right way to develop a young guy? Shouldn't he have a break now and rest and recover?
For me, he will have a month off, a full month off. And in that month, the last 2 weeks, I will have him maybe doing a bit of strength training, if anything. You know what I mean? In his own time, just going to the gym, just like a normal lad, you know what I mean? Doing a bit here and there. And then I would give him a month and a half. And then the half, I would get him strength training. You know what I mean? In that, just make sure that month he eats really well. He's eating really good and he's relaxing mentally, switching off in a beach somewhere where he's swimming, you know what I mean? And just getting really nice sunshine and feeling refreshed. That's what I would do. I won't be bringing him back, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. England were in the final and he's already back training. It's an absolute joke.
Oh, maybe But I read somewhere, maybe it's just a rumor that he had some slight injury again, Kobe Mainu.
Well, I won't blame me. I won't blame him if he had a. That makes sense. If he's come for treatment, that's a different story. But if he's training, then yeah.
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 I'm not sure. I will have to check that out. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. No. It's all right. But it won't surprise me. We know that Steve McLaren has held backwards because Bruno, all of the rest of them, sure, all of them are going to come back. So that's why they're there to train with him. You know what I mean? It's been, 2 weeks now? 2 weeks. They got one more week. Well, the United are still away in the US. So, yeah, the rest of them will be back training at Old Trafford. But I would give a month off to all of them that were involved.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Bumbaya, listen, I know it's bad way past your bedtime. You get to bed, my friend. And we'll chat to you really soon.
Yeah, listen, it's been
and
a
Jarvis
pleasure.
as well. But Jarvis, you said Ugarte. Jarvis, you said Ugarte as well to get the midfield player. You reckon that we should get?
Yeah, for me, I think we should get Ugarte. I think he will fit perfectly into what we are trying to do. But for me personally, I would go for Zubimendi because I would love a deep lying playmaker. You know, I'm more of a control.
Well, there is. Why can't we get both? Manchester United can't get both by selling all these players, getting rid of these players. It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Manchester United need to have complete haul of the football. With those two, you keep the ball because he wins it back, gives it to a guy who can keep the ball. And that's what we need. It's about balance. Balance. Not every player has to be amazing on the ball, but it's about balance. But having a playmaker, deep lining playmaker is important for me. Also having a deep lining ball winner. And I will never play a single pivot. I'll play two in the pivot, and those will be the two players. And then I'll play a very advanced number 10. That's what I would do. 4 up the pitch, 2 holding. 4 up the pitch, turn it in possession, 4-4-2. Out of possession, 4-3-3.
Not the 3-1-6.
Not that bullshit 3-1 fucking bullshit. No chance. But Jarvis, big up to you. Yeah, make sure you check Jarvis out, and make sure you check Jarvis out at Bowley77. Big up Sheikh Arian Rashid. Make sure you check him out on Twitter as well. Sheikh Arian with his Casemiro badge. And Bumbaya, you'll never see him anywhere else. Big up Tom. Make sure you check up Tom at Tom Journalist 1. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, people. It's been really nice chew the fat with you guys. And yeah, we'll see. They are the 3 different midfielders Manchester United have been linked with. I would like both Ugarte and Zubimendi. But that's just me. And if I could have it all 3, I'll have all 3. And I would get rid of Bruno, Mason Mount, Scott McTominay. I would get rid of Casemiro. And that's what I would do. And promote the 2 youngsters. Did you see the one who set up the goal?
Yeah, that's Maxi Oyedele.
Yeah, Maxi. I would promote them.
And Toby Collier, he's been brilliant.
So I'll promote 2 and get rid of, and bring 3 in. Promote 2, get rid of 5. That's me, people. The football will fucking change then. We'll be playing different ball. That's how you get change. You've got people who can actually keep holding the ball. None of this hoofball football. None of this 3-6-1. None of this headless chicken runs to block the ball. You know what I mean? Headless chicken press, 1-man press. None of that. None of those things will be going on. But then I'm not the guy, am I? You know what I mean? That's why I'll have me. Those players. Yeah. Big up. And yeah, obviously, apparently, have we signed that young player from Arsenal, that young striker? Has he chosen? Is he signed for Manchester United? Because he was going to other football clubs. He was going to Germany. He was going to a couple of other football clubs. He came on trial for Manchester United. We agreed, but he had to decide where he was going to go.
Well, he's apparently quite a coup. I'm hearing.
Yeah, Obi Martin. Is it Obi Martin?
Obi Martin, yeah. That's his name.
I don't think we've signed him yet. He's still making up his mind. Rabiot, people want Rabiot. Yeah, Rabiot's good at tackling. His actually stats are quite, in terms of like, his stats are very good with Ugarte in terms of tackles, but he's just a bit too lagged for me, and I don't want to negotiate with his. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, Nuruddin. I think
he'll be asking for too much money.
Yeah, it's his last contract now as well. We'll be in a bit of a pickle with it. You know, he's 29, going on 30, so this is the big one. He's not going to get another big club after United, so he's going to want some big money. So nah, I'd rather go in a direction we're going in, man.
I Nuruddin, I had a chat with Steve, you know, Newcastle Steve-O, the dude.
Yeah, big up Steve.
Yeah, he told me that he watches a lot of football, and especially Italian football, and he said there's a reason why Juventus aren't performing and they are inconsistent all the time. Rabiot is one of the reasons. They haven't won anything with him in the team. So he said Rabiot is a red flag. We should definitely stay away. He wouldn't have him at Newcastle. That's agree. Just his words, but it worries me if he gets Rabiot.
Yeah,
I don't want to go back. I think it's a step in the backward direction for me.
Yeah.
There you go. If you get Rabiot, his mum, Veronica, will be on the pitch assisting the manager, giving Eric Ten Hag directions how to coach. Actually, he might could do with, after last season's performance, get his mum, get Veronica in here, mate. I'm telling you. He's 29. He's 29. Now, listen, at the end of the day, listen, I don't blame people being close to their mums. I don't blame them. And if the mum's their agent looking after them, it's fine. I don't mind that. But at the end of the day, it's...
Do you know what? Have you ever seen the clip? It's on YouTube of a boxer who was getting knocked out by the other guy. They stopped the fight. So the guy that got knocked out, his mum gets in the ring and she starts taking her shoe off and hitting the guy that beat her son up. The fighter.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's brilliant.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Are you on mute, Norin? You're on mute.
Sorry, big up to everybody. Love and light. Look after yourselves. Take care of yourselves. And we'll catch you in the next one. 100%. Big up Jarvis. Make sure you check him out, Jarvis Corner on Monday nights at 9 o'clock on Man UFC Realist TV. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, people. Follow him on Jarvis Bowley77. He actually did a brilliant thread the other day of Kagoglu.
Kayoglu.
Yeah, Kagoglu, the right back, the right-footed left back. Plays for Galatasaray or Fenerbahce. I think he plays Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce.
Yeah, Fenerbahce, yeah. And he did a very good thread. So go and check him out. Jarvis the Tactical. But big up to everybody. Love and light. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Fuck to police brutality. Fuck to racist police. And now they're making excuses saying that the lads beat up the 3 female officers. And one of them is that their nose broken and that. Okay, where was their bleeding and where was the evidence of that? It's just absolutely mindfuck, man. Police will always cover. That's what I'm talking about. Institution being racist. They will always cover for their officers. They will always do it. Fuck Netanyahu. Fuck brutal occupation and Zionism and what he's doing. Zionism to me is fascism. What he's doing in the Middle East. We don't give a fuck with a fucking shadow band. We fucking fly the fucking kofia. We fly for Palestine, for Lebanon, for all of the countries in the Middle East who are coming under the attack of Zionism. Big up Yemen as well while we're there. Big up that fucking Yemenis, man. Come on! Big up all the resistance in the Middle East who are resisting against that brutal Zionist occupation and colonizers. Peace, love, light, win, lose, draw, Glazers out, bankers out. Stop the genocide, end apartheid, free the people, free the fucking land! Peace.